We will not be intimidated or pushed off the world stage by people who do not like what we stand for. And that is freedom, democracy, and the fight against disease, poverty, and terrorism. A lot of people think international relations is like a game of chess. But it's not a game of chess, where people sit quietly, thinking out their strategy, taking their time between moves. It's more like a game of billiards, with a bunch of balls clustered together. Well, the thing that I learned as a diplomat is that human relations ultimately make a huge difference. I have said this many times, that there seems to be enough room in the world for mediocre men, but not for mediocre women, and we really have to work very, very hard. But I do not believe that the world would be entirely different if there were more women leaders. Maybe if everybody in leadership was a woman, you might not get into the conflicts in the first place. But if you watch the women who have made it to the top, they haven't exactly been non-aggressive, including me. I love being a woman. And I was not one of these women who rose through professional life by wearing men's clothes or looking masculine. I loved wearing bright colors and being who I am. Women can't do everything at the same time. We need to understand milestones in our lives comes in segments. One of the things that was really an issue was I did not want to just be a woman Secretary of State. I wanted to be a Secretary of a state who was a woman, but not just chosen for that particular reason. I do believe that in order to be a successful negotiator, that is a diplomat, you have to be able to put yourself into the other person's shoes. Unless you can understand what is motivating them, you are never going to be able to figure out how to solve a particular. The capability of negotiating is something that means you not only have to understand fully what you believe and what your national interests are, but in order to be a really good negotiator, you have to try to figure out what the other person on the other side of the table has in mind. While democracy in the long run is the most stable form of government, In the short run, it is among the most fragile. Hate, emotionalism, and frustration are not policies. I was a little girl in World War II, and I'm used to being freed by Americans. I didn't want to set up a women's studies program. I thought women should learn to operate in a coeducational atmosphere. Because especially in national security and international affairs, it's male-dominated. Women have to be active listeners and interrupters, but when you interrupt, you have to know what you are talking about. I think women want to take care of themselves. And I think having a voice in how that is done is very important. Most of the time I spend when I get up in the morning is trying to figure out what is going to happen. I'm a problem solver. I think that a president needs to have a variety of views presented. But also, there has to be a team effort. Because otherwise, I think it creates a dissonance and difficulty. Well, I do think when there are more women that the tone of the conversation changes. And also, the goals of the conversation change. But it doesn't mean that the whole world would be a lot better if it were totally run by women. If you think that, you've forgotten high school. And so I have studied. I have to tell you, revolutions and uprisings for a long time. They are all slightly different. But what they all look for is some kind of a mechanism to go from an authoritarian system to an open, democratic system. I think that there is never an indispensable leader. You know, I think that there is a time with dignity that one needs to leave. What people have the capacity to choose. They have the ability to change. I was taught to strive not because there were any guarantees of success, but because the act of striving is in itself the only way to keep faith with life. I think the personal relationships I established mattered in terms of what I was able to get done. And I did bring women's issues to the center of our foreign policy. The greatest thrill in my life was to represent the United States of America. Don't make me into this airy-fairy moralist, idealist, because I'm not. When Hillary was First Lady, we went to the Beijing Women's Conference. She courageously stood up and spoke out on behalf of human rights and women's rights, inspiring millions to fight for a better future. What people have the capacity to choose. They have the ability to change. No matter what message you are about to deliver somewhere, whether it is holding out a hand of friendship or making clear that you disapprove of something, is the fact that the person sitting across the table is a human being. So the goal is to always establish common ground. The main thing is to remain oneself, under any circumstances. That was and is our common purpose. History would be far different if we did not tend to hear God most clearly when we think. He is telling us exactly what it is we want to hear.